do an introductory bit on there. This is Eloise, who is here for the very first time driving at some point on a public road. Before we start, the keys are in. I have wiped them. If you can just turn them so that
all the way, so
just so the dashboard lights come on. Here we are. So it's going to get like a greenhouse in it. So if you want to open your window, feel free. There is some logic to all of that. There are 4 windows, side windows.
Yeah, because on my car they're here, which is weird.
Right. GPS connected. Which side? So what you've actually got? So you've driven your car around a field.
Mini Cooper.
Right. Fine. Which side are the indicators on? Oh, good. Yeah. So we're not going to have the wipers going on in this car when you go to indicate, because they're on the same side. Okay. So just what have you done so far when you've in your car?
Gear 2 maximum. That's all I've done.
Okay. So obviously
starting, stopping, tiny bit of reversing, but that needs to be improved definitely.
Well, I'm not going to worry too much about reversing today.
Yeah.
What would your aspirations and hopes to achieve by the end of this lesson? And I promise not to laugh, whatever you say.
Just a little bit more confidence.
Confidence in what?
Like being able to know that I can do it, and just learning like the more of the basics, like just install that.
Okay, so what would you call the basics?
Starting, stopping.
Okay, so
that's as far as I've got really.
Gear changes?
Not very smooth at the moment.
Okay, so that's something.
Like to try that, yeah.
Well, we're certainly going to have the opportunity during the next best part of 2 hours to do some of that. Now, one thing, are you familiar with this road at all?
Yeah.
Right, good. Because it's a lot of the places it's quite nice and long and straight as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what the speed limit on this road is?
60.
It is. Yeah. We'll go into the how you can identify speed limits a bit later on, but it is a road where you can get up to a relatively high speed, and I confidently predict that we will be able to get up towards that sort of speed at some point later on. So we'll be what gear are we going to be looking to be in when we get up to higher speeds?
The higher gears, so 4, 5 maybe.
How many gears have you got in your car?
Mine's 5 gears.
5, right, okay, so we've got 5 in here.
Yeah,
and so we will be able to get beyond gear 2 for you today as well and practice those gear changes. What are what's your moving off like in your car?
It's a bit like juffery. Sometimes it's smooth.
Right.
But other times it's a bit of like a rocking back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah, a bit like kangaroo hops. Yeah, fine. Okay, so we can look into all of that, because what I want to do in a minute is just obviously get us moving, and get as much of the diagnosis as to what needs to be done from you rather than from me. You are not going to find me instructing you into what to do. Right? Because what I want you doing is thinking for yourself, because that's what you're going to need to do eventually when you're driving, evaluating what you've done, working, maybe I ought not to have done that, I'll do something different next time, or that's how to do that, I'm confident I know what I'm doing. And this is going to be very much a two-way thing. Alright, your input is as valuable, if not more so, particularly if we do ever get one of my trainee instructors in, and he, because mine are male at the moment, Kristy's got a couple of female trainees with her, but if he sat here and does a little bit of a lesson with you, which won't cost you anything then, because he'll be paying me, then it'll be interesting to get your feedback on how they are instructing or getting you involved, because what you have to say will be as valuable, if not more so, than what I have to say to any of them. And similarly here, you know, there are no stupid questions. Apart from, and once we get to know each other, I will tell you what the stupid question is. And the only one I've had, I think, in the last 15, there are two. The second one I'll come to one day if we ever get to the housing estate. But the only one I've ever had was another King's girl, or your ex anyway. You did go to King's, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's about 10 or 11 years ago now. And we're coming up towards some red traffic lights. And Daisy said to me, "Do I have to stop?" Now we had we had been doing lessons a little while, and so we'd got to know each other. So I did sort of suggest that, Daisy, perhaps you have just asked a stupid question. But you know, apart from that, feel free to ask anything you want.
Okay.
There is nothing in the car that you can't touch that's out of bounds. There, fingers crossed, there is nothing that you can break by touching it. Although there is one person I know who passed with me. I won't say what her name is now because it will get on record there when we turned it off, because you'll know who it is, I think. Once she passed her test, her sister did dob her in and tell me that she broke her indicator by knocking it too hard. One of the first time she went out on her own. So in terms of what we're going to do, improving stopping and starting, improving gear changes, you'd be quite happy with?
I'm quite happy with that,
some of that. Well, hopefully we'll add in a little bit more.
Maybe like introduce a bit more, but
oh yeah. So
I'd just like to get that like nailed.
That's a target to aim for.
Yeah.
Good. Because what I'll do, we'll turn this off in a little while, and when we get to finish, we'll just have a little chat about it, and I'll record that as well, so to see what's. So I won't do the whole 2 hours. What we'll do now, first of all, then, is just get yourself ready to drive.
Short legs are not a blessing.
Oh, I've known shorter. I did have a lady come with me a long time ago who brought her own booster seat.
One of my boyfriend's mate has to sit in the newspaper or something like that. You can't get a seat high enough.
Oh, I've had some people, they're virtually cuddling the steering wheel because they're so short. How do you know when the seat's in the right place?
When I can touch all the pedals and everything.
What are you doing with the pedals?
Just seeing if I can reach all the way.
Ah, so you're pushing them all the way down?
But I don't know if the clutch does need to be pushed all the way. Like, I can.
Well,
yeah, because I always push mine straight back.
Right down to the floor?
Right down to the floor.
I'm ever so pleased you do that.
So that is what you're meant to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
do you push the gas pedal? I call it gas, not accelerator. It's 1 syllable, not 5. I know it's American.
No, I will not push that all the way down.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that.
This,
right?
Because it's similar, like on the motorbike. I will change gear. Well, this is on the bike, so I don't know what it's like in the car, but I'll change when I'm in the higher range, so between 5 and 6. I tend not to let it get to what I like to call red zone.
I'm ever so pleased to hear that as well. We'll have a look to see what way the gear changes are happening in terms of the revs.
Because I tend to like, with the bike you can listen to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like in the car. I've never really done it in my car.
Right, okay, well, rather than just tell you, we'll have a look at that before you do your seatbelt. So, at least you know where all the pedals are anyway. So you don't put you put the clutch right down. Yes, you don't put the gas pedal down all the way. There may be some times when we will, but generally you don't. Correct?
Yep.
Yep. What about the brake?
Well, when you stop, you kind of ease it. If it's emergency stop, I'm guessing it's like straight down.
Well, will it go all the way down?
I don't know. It's quite that's quite tough.
Push the clutch down as well as the brake. Does they both go down the same as far as each other?
No, clutch goes further.
Yeah. We'd be in trouble, I think, if the brake pedal went right to the floor. Probably it means it's not working. Yeah. Okay, so you feel that the seat's okay for you?
Yeah, I don't know if it needs to be...
Oh, right,
How
so you
do I tilt it? Is it the handle on my...
Try something.
Oh no, that is...
I think a lot of this is personal preference as well. Different body sizes and heights can, you know, different people are comfortable at different positions.
Right, they're getting rolled up. It needs to be like in between the two that I've just done. No. That's just fine. No. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, right.
I think that's where it was. Before,
well, that's the end of today's lesson, Eloise. Let's see how it feels after you've been driving for a while. If you feel it's not quite right, you can always change it.
I think I might have to change it.
I don't know whether you're aware, I don't know whether you can do this in your car, but there is another adjustment you can make to the seat if you want to.
To higher it?
Yeah, or lower it.
My car is not that advanced.
Well, you can higher or lower this one. I'm not saying you need to.
No, it's fine where it is. Oh, is it? It's that one there.
Try it. Just to play with it.
Yeah, it's that one.
Can you feel what it's doing, apart from lowering the seat?
Yeah, it's like kind of pushing it back a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
it's on a sort of bit of a slant, so if you do go lower, it does take you slightly further away as well.
Yeah, that's fine where it is now, I think.
Good.
If it isn't, then I'll let you know if that's okay.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. We'll just pull over and you can, yeah, oh, no problem with that at all. Anything else to do with the seat that you want to make sure that it's adjusted properly?
Yes. Which is very...
Yes, you have to be a bit of a contortionist to do this.
Go in, go down. My head, yeah.
What is that?
Like a... I just know it's a headrest.
Okay, so you're going to put... Oh, you'll have a snooze while I'm driving.
Is it like a safety thing?
It's a head restraint, that's the proper name for it. Yeah, yes, that's a safety thing, yeah. What's its purpose?
Is it like to help prevent whiplash in the... Yeah.
So hopefully it's not going to come into use at all, but that's what it's there for. Okay. Anything else you feel you need to adjust before we start moving?
Mirrors. Am I right to move them?
What did I say about touching things?
I can touch them.
Perfectly cool too. When you go for the ejector seat button, I can't stop you from doing that, seeing as it with this seat.
Yeah, that's
not quite fitted with the James Bond accessories. What are you looking for in the door mirrors?
See if I can see behind me. This one's perfect. That one I think needs to tilt down a little bit.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing more of the sky than I am of the road. How do they work? Is it this button here?
Why don't you give it a try?
Is that doing anything? Yeah, it is. Okay. Right. Thing is, I don't know what's right and what's wrong.
Well, what do you think you want to be able to see in the door mirrors?
I want to be able to see behind me and the hedge line, and then this one I want to be able to see like all the traffic.
Okay. Do you want to be able to see any of this car?
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
Why might it be useful to see a bit of this car?
When parking, to see like distance between this car and other cars, and potentially like if someone were to tailgate, I'd see how close I am to where they are.
As a general idea, I think tailgating, you'd probably see them better in that one.
Yeah.
Right behind you. But the general idea of where other vehicles are in relation to yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much of that, either of these mirrors, do you think you want to be taken up with this car?
Half, maybe a bit less, like half to less.
Yeah, I think just a bit, so that you've got a reference
I've
with
got quite
this
a lot
car.
on that side, so I might. No. Yeah, I am in the right one. Yeah.
Okay. Good. One other thing that you can adjust, or which virtually nobody ever does, because it may be in the right place.
Is it a steering wheel?
It's a steering wheel, yeah. I'm sure
It's
you could do
perfect
that
where
in
it
your
is.
car as well.
Well, I think I've got to have a play around if I wanted to do that.
Yes, because there is, if you wanted to change it, it can go up and down, and it can go in and out. But if you're happy with where it is,
yeah, I'm happy where it is.
Okay. And the one other thing that we need to do now to make sure we're ready to go. Correct. We can go into some of the details about the different mirrors and what you see in them and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But for now, our target is to start and stop and do some gears. But I will introduce one or two other bits in terms of working out how safe it is to go as well.
Yeah.
Particularly once we get off the lay-by and get onto the road. So we'll have a go at moving off down here. Obviously we've now got the refuse cart that's very kindly turned up. He's obviously having a coffee break before he moves on anywhere. So what we could do first of all, before I turn this off for the majority of the lesson, we'll just record what your first move off is like.
Oh no.
Now,
I can't promise I won't stall.
I can't promise that either, but I think the important thing from my point of view is that although when you come to do your driving test you get told how many driving faults you've got, as far as I'm concerned you are not going to make any faults at all. You are going to do things that will help you learn from them and eventually get to do them differently if they need to be done differently to be better. So do not worry about stalling the car at all. It will happen. I think we just got to. I do it. Everyone does at times. My wife loves it when I do it. So, you just phoned your driving test. I said, no, actually that wouldn't have. We then get into not a heated discussion, but I decide to at that point to withdraw and just get on with it. So you've had a go at doing this before. You've never done it in this car. You don't know how sensitive the pedals are. I imagine they're not going to be that different to yours. How old is your car?
2002.
Oh right, okay.
So it's fairly old.
Yeah, but it's not going to be in the London to Brighton veteran car rally this year.
It does what I need it to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right. So shall we get the engine switched on first?
Yeah.
Right, I have a question. Oh, that's helpful. I have a question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
How did you know that you needed to put the clutch down to turn the engine on?
That's what Mum said. I'd just do as
right. Now, if I ask Mum that, I bet I get a different response from that for some things. So you just do things when somebody tells you to?
Well,
without
no.
questioning?
She said, clutch down, turn it on, into gear, little bit of rev, handbrake off gradually, and then clutch and handbrake kind of thing.
Right, at the moment I'm not going to answer that question. When you go home, I want you to ask your mum why she tells you to put the clutch down. Well, you're putting her on the spot now, not you.
She'll be like, I don't know, just do it.
Right, yeah. Oh, okay. Mum, go and stick your head in the oven.
Yeah.
Well, you tell me to do things you say. So, but it'd be interesting, because there is a reason.
Does it like engage something? Because I felt I don't know whether the steering wheel loosens up when you turn, but it was...
It certainly does, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's anything
That's
to do with the clutch. This car, you're not in gear. Come off the clutch pedal for a moment.
Okay.
This car, what was I going to say now? I've lost the thread. Yeah, this car you have to have the clutch down to turn it on. Can you turn the engine on in your car without putting it? Oh, this car you can't.
Is it like a safety feature?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Ask your mum.
Okay.
See if she knows. See if she knows why. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's all because everything that we do, as far as I'm concerned, there has to be a reason for it.
Yeah.
If I'm suggesting you do something, then or if you're saying, "Oh, do this," I want to know why.
Yeah.
You know? So if there's not a reason for doing something, then what's the point? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, now, are you happy to have a go at moving off all on your own?
Yeah,
Do you want any input from me at all, apart from hysterical laughter?
Well, we'll just see how it goes.
Great, lovely empty road ahead of you now as well.
Where do you want me to stop?
We'll just drive in a straight line. Let's just get the car moving first,
Yeah.
then we'll decide where we're going to stop.
Right, what's accelerate like?
Oh yeah, have a feel of that first. Before you do anything else, just push that down a minute and see how sensitive it is.
Okay. That's a bit much. I just want it to stay in the same place.
Oh, don't look, you'll be here forever trying to do that. Don't worry about that.
Oh God,
Oh no, don't.
Oh my God.
That's my fault.
Okay.
Everybody is moaning about that and me putting it on too hard.
Right, can't guarantee this is going to be smooth or that it's going to work.
And then why don't we just bring the car to a stop? What have you just done with the gear stick?
Check that it is in neutral.
Sure it's in neutral?
No. Wait. Oh no. Now we are.
Okay, so now what can you do with the clutch pedal?
Okay.
How was that?
Not awful, could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse. So, well, let's just finish this here on